will 100% swoon if you ask this question. Welcome back to another intriguing episode. Narcissists have a knack for avoiding questions. It's part of their routine, and they typically respond negatively, feeling entitled to keep their inner thoughts private. Delving into their inner world feels like unearthing buried emotions they'd rather keep concealed. Today, we're delving into specific inquiries that consistently prompt narcissists to dodge, deflect, or engage in mind games, 7 in total. Exciting, isn't it? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to catch our upcoming episodes. But before we delve into the questions, here's a little something for you. Have you ever posed a question that made a narcissist squirm? Share your experiences in the comments. We're all in this together. Now let's dive into the first question. 1. Why do you act so friendly towards people you barely know? Are you trying to hide your true self when meeting new acquaintances? While many see networking as an opportunity to be amiable, narcissists view it as a chance to manipulate. They aim to garner support by portraying themselves as someone they're not, all to earn respect, admiration, and attention. Narcissists weave elaborate tales to evoke specific emotions, showcasing their superficiality. New acquaintances may find them charming, but it's all a facade. Have you observed someone close engaging in this behavior? Share your anecdotes in the comments. Now let's move on to question number 2. Here's the next question for exploration. 2. Why do narcissists become uneasy when faced with opinions, preferences, or thoughts that differ from their own? Their discomfort primarily stems from their need for control. Anything conflicting with their established worldview is perceived as a significant threat. They interpret divergent opinions as challenges to their authority, triggering feelings of unease. Narcissists crave agreement, validation, and obedience from others. Asserting your individuality is akin to breaking their established rules and defying their dominance, which they perceive as betrayal. Their perspective remains self-centered. They expect everyone to conform to their desires. When confronted with differing viewpoints, they perceive it as unjust and resist it vehemently. Resistance to their influence instills a sense of losing control, prompting them to seek ways to alter or erase your uniqueness. Now let's proceed to the third question. Let's move on to the next question. 3. Have you ever delved into their inner struggles and pains? Posing this question to a narcissist often results in a puzzled expression. They steadfastly maintain they've never encountered significant traumas or endured profound emotional wounds. Wrapped in an aura of self-importance, they dismiss the notion that past events could have left a lasting impact on them. Even if they acknowledge past adversities, they adamantly assert that these incidents failed to affect them in any meaningful way. Probing their behavior in light of these experiences often triggers accusations of scrutiny and judgment. Sadly, they remain oblivious to the fact that their present harmful conduct is often rooted in their past mistreatment. Refusing to acknowledge the influence of their history on their current behavior, they steadfastly evade accountability. Now let's proceed to question number 4. 4. Why do narcissists struggle to acknowledge their imperfections? Instead of owning up to their flaws, narcissists consistently deflect blame onto others. Their reluctance to admit any wrongdoing stems from a fortress of defensiveness they've meticulously constructed. To them, acknowledging their mistakes would equate to conceding they are no different from ordinary individuals, a notion they vehemently reject. They cling to the delusion of their own perfection and invincibility, positioning themselves as quasi-divine entities immune to error. Yet, as we all know, no one is exempt from making mistakes. Now let's delve into question 5. Let's venture into the next inquiry. 5. Have they ever contemplated the need for personal growth or transformation? If you dare to pose this question, brace yourself for a tumultuous encounter. Their reaction will likely mirror a vehement defense against an assault on their very essence. Admitting the necessity for change implies inherent flaws and a relinquishment of absolute control, concepts they simply cannot abide. Mere suggestion of their potential for growth evokes feelings of shame and elicits a fervent defense of their perceived infallibility. To them, the notion of change signifies vulnerability, posing a direct threat to the fortress of egotism they've meticulously constructed. They adamantly refuse to entertain the idea that change might be necessary, demanding unwavering obedience, curtailing dialogue, forbidding further inquiries, and insisting on subjugation to their desires. It's confounding how they overlook the universal imperative for personal evolution and development, particularly in nurturing healthy relationships. Yet, their veneration of their idealized self-image eclipses any recognition of the value of individual progress. Now let's embark on our next exploration. 6. Do you genuinely believe your perspectives reign supreme over everyone else's? It's a perplexing reality that some individuals grapple with even the simplest of decisions, from choosing a vacation spot to navigating political ideologies. They harbor opinions on every matter under the sun, staunchly convinced that their stance is not just valid, but unequivocally superior. What irks me most is their steadfast refusal to entertain alternative viewpoints. They wield their own perspective as the ultimate truth, dismissing all others with an air of disdain. This behavior stems from a deep-seated belief in their own superiority, as if their thoughts are inherently more valuable than those of others. They exhibit a profound reluctance to acknowledge differing opinions, viewing such considerations as beneath them, and potentially threatening to their inflated sense of self-worth. It's exasperating to witness their blatant disregard for the importance of respecting diverse perspectives. Their aversion to doing so is rooted in the fear that acknowledging alternative viewpoints might diminish their own perceived importance. Now let's proceed to our next compelling question. 7. Why do those who harbor disdain for you persist in returning? Don't anticipate candid revelations from them. They won't readily admit that they crave attention, a lifeline they simply can't forsake. Instead, they'll contort reality, deflecting blame onto you. They might assert, "I return out of pity for you," or "I hate witnessing your sorrow, hence I remain by your side." Yet the truth remains veiled. They derive satisfaction from witnessing your anguish, reveling in the control and significance it affords them. They'll castigate you for purportedly anchoring them to the past, yet in truth, they're the ones ensnared by the allure of your attention. They yearn for it as desperately as they do for air. Such individuals recoil from introspective queries, thwarting any prospects of authentic discourse or connection. If you encounter someone of this ilk in your life, remember, you cannot reform them. Instead, prioritize your own healing, fortify your boundaries, and safeguard your emotional well-being. It's a formidable task, but an indispensable one. Should you find these insights beneficial, share your reflections in the comments. Subscribe for further elucidation on navigating through tumultuous relationships. Until then, devote yourself to your personal growth and recuperation. Narcissists thrive on exerting power, rendering you helpless and confined, thus solidifying their illusion of superiority. Their objective is to subject you to maximum anguish before eventually casting you aside, further reinforcing their perceived indispensability. However, should you defy the odds and emerge like the mythical phoenix, transformed and resolute, it sends shockwaves through their fragile psyche. To combat the negative narrative imposed by narcissists, it's imperative to shift your perspective on life. Rather than succumbing to their manipulative ploys, prioritize unconditional self-love and acceptance. Refuse to yield to their insults and efforts to undermine your self-worth. Understand that their agenda revolves around control and obedience, whereas you deserve autonomy and confidence. Thank you for tuning into this video. In the remainder of our discussion, I'll share 5 strategies to expose a narcissist's deception in public, allowing you to refute their falsehoods. Stay informed on this subject by subscribing and activating notifications with the bell icon. Let's embark on this journey together. Firstly, narcissists derive gratification from others' suffering. They employ manipulation and criticism to shape you into someone seeking their approval. It's imperative to break free from their influence by embracing self-love and acceptance. Reject the doubts they sow and focus on your personal growth and well-being. Remember, your value transcends their shallow judgments. Let's kick off by placing your trust in yourself and your capabilities. Treat yourself with kindness and understanding, embracing your instincts and celebrating your unique traits. Release the weight of past negative encounters that have shaped your perception of the world, acknowledging that self-value serves as your shield against external judgments. The key to triumph lies in harmonizing your inner and outer selves, taking ownership of any voids in your life. It's crucial to appreciate yourself before expecting others to follow suit, empowering yourself with the confidence to believe in your worth. Your self-awareness is your armor against allowing others to dictate your identity. Moving on to step number 2. Don't jump to conclusions. If a narcissist shows interest in you, they might resort to extreme measures to keep you around. They oscillate between showering you with praise to inflate your self-esteem and uttering hurtful remarks to undermine your confidence. This manipulative cycle may drive you to seek their validation desperately, fearing abandonment. It's paramount to heal from past wounds, break free from the need to please others, and resist the urge to conform. Remember, their negative remarks often stem from their own insecurities projected onto you. Narcissists struggle to alter their ingrained traits, and attempting to change them is futile. It's a harsh reality they'll eventually confront. They frequently project their own issues onto others, seeing reflections of their own shortcomings in those around them. Train yourself to shrug off their criticisms and steer clear of toxic environments. Prioritize self-nurturing and cultivate a robust sense of self-worth. When you're confident and self-assured, no one can diminish you by highlighting your flaws. Confront your fears, carve out your own identity, and live with purpose. Moving on to the third point, it's paramount not to let narcissists shatter your spirit, no matter how vigorously they attempt to do so. Narcissists thrive on a constant stream of validation from others, seeking dominance over you by inciting negative emotions like anger or regret. Whether you respond with a yes or a no, their endgame remains unchanged. Your emotional state, be it fury, sadness, contrition, or joy, is inconsequential to them as long as they can provoke a reaction. Indulging in their manipulative antics only fuels their triumph. Maintaining emotional equilibrium in your dealings with narcissists is vital, as their tactics thrive on your reaction. If they perceive that their actions affect you adversely, they'll persist in their torment and exploitation. By feigning indifference to their behavior, you can push them to the brink of frustration. It's crucial to train yourself to consciously regulate your emotions, gaining mastery over impulsive responses. By understanding and expressing your emotions effectively when dealing with a narcissist, you seize control, rendering them powerless over your emotional well-being. Take an objective stance on the situation. Remember, you bear no blame, nor do you shoulder any responsibility for the narcissist's shortcomings. They might endeavour to manipulate you into assuming culpability, but it's imperative to rebuff their efforts. Nothing you could have said or done would have rectified their conduct. You are blameless in this scenario. It's natural to entertain thoughts like, "I should have seen it coming," or "I should have trusted my instincts." However, in trying times, clarity often eludes us. While you possess considerable insight into this matter now, it's important to acknowledge that your understanding may be insufficient to distinguish truth from falsehood. Recognize that you acted with the knowledge you possessed at the time. Avoid subjecting yourself to undue criticism in the early stages. Narcissists purposefully insult, deceive, and manipulate to assert dominance. Remind yourself of your innocence when doubts arise. Embrace self-compassion and gentleness to effectively employ this tactic. Do not internalize their faults and challenges. Your identity is not defined by others' perceptions. Engaging in positive self-affirmations can be a source of strength during adversity, reinforcing that you gave your all to nurture the relationship. Resist allowing others to shape your character based on their biases. Now, on to the final and fourth suggestion: establishing and enforcing clear boundaries. Narcissists thrive in environments lacking clear boundaries, exploiting situations to their advantage. They gravitate toward individuals who acquiesce to rejection and easily yield to their demands. In their worldview, demonstrating dominance involves granting others total autonomy in decision-making. If ongoing communication with the narcissist is necessary due to co-parenting or legal obligations, steadfastly upholding established boundaries is paramount. Beware of providing any openings that might give the narcissist a glimpse of opportunity. Their mindset may entertain thoughts like, "Perhaps I can still gain something from this situation. It's not as bleak as it appears." Narcissists often succumb to such delusions. It's crucial to maintain a resolute stance, either take definitive action or refrain entirely. There's no room for compromise. It's an all-or-nothing scenario. Remaining vigilant is of utmost importance, for narcissists have a tendency to resurface unexpectedly. It is essential to firmly reject their advances with assertiveness. Unfortunately, there is no room for negotiation at this juncture. This brings us to the final segment: a courteous request for your departure. Such behaviors and sentiments are entirely unacceptable in this space. They hold no sway or allure for me. If you aspire to success, maintaining a discerning standard is imperative. Communication with narcissists demands clear and assertive language tailored to their comprehension. Narcissists will persist in their endeavours to wield influence over various facets of your life, spanning personal affairs to interactions involving children. Whenever feasible, effectively convey your needs and establish unwavering boundaries. However, exercise caution throughout this endeavour. Preparation is equally vital, as it falls upon you to enforce appropriate consequences for any transgressions against co-parenting agreements. Seek assistance from an impartial third party, such as a court, if necessary. Ensure that the repercussions of breaching established boundaries are clearly communicated to uphold respect and adherence. Exhibit confidence and assertiveness when delineating limits. This concludes our discussion for the time being. My earnest wish is for you to adeptly turn the narcissist's hubris and conceit against them. We shall reconvene via video conference soon. Have a splendid day ahead.